These are the top 15 places to visit in Italy. Italy is among the most sought-after travel destinations. The Dolomites in the north, the beaches in Puglia, and the ancient temples in Sicily are just a few of Italy's many fantastic tourist destinations. Plan your vacation to Italy with the help of our list of the top tourist destinations in Italy. Number 1. Rome. For most tourists going to Italy, Rome is the first place they want to go. It's because Rome was the capital of much of ancient Europe and is still one of Europe's most exciting cities today. The Colosseum, Forum, Pantheon, Appian Way, and Palatine Hill are all relics of Rome's previous splendor that contend for the title of the most popular destination to visit in Rome with the Vatican's immense treasures. Enjoy the city between trips to essential places like the Sistine Chapel and Michelangelo's Pieta. After that, you can relax in the Borghese Gardens, eat gelato on the Spanish Steps, walk through the winding streets of Trastevere, watch people on the Via Veneto, and launch money in the Trevi Fountain to make sure you come back. Number 2. Florence. Florence, the showcase of the Italian Renaissance, may often resemble a vast art museum. The massive dome on top of the Duomo at Santa Maria del Fiore goes against all the laws of gravity and symbolizes both Florence and Italy. It has some of the best Renaissance art in the world, like Giotto's marble inlaid bell tower and Ghiberti's unbeatable bronze doors. A half dozen art museums are filled with paintings and sculptures, while other treasures adorn the city's churches and palaces. Before overdosing on art at the Uffizi Gallery at Pitti Palace, take a stroll around the Boboli Gardens, tour the studios and workshops of Volturno's artists, shop for leather at Santa Croce. Number 3. Venice. Who would not fall in love with a city whose streets are composed of water, whose buses are boats, and where gondoliers' melodies float in the air? It's a magical city, and its primary tourist draw is itself. St. Mark's Square is the city's center, and is surrounded by several of its most popular tourist attractions. The Doge's Palace and the large Basilica of St. Mark are right next to each other, and the tall Campanile towers over both buildings. Gondola rides are one of the most romantic activities in Italy. On the Grand Canal, gondolas assemble toward the end of the plaza. In the opposite direction, a gate beneath the clock tower leads to a labyrinth of narrow, winding passageways where you will become disoriented. However, being lost is one of the biggest delights of Venice, where every turn offers a postcard-worthy vista. Number 4. Tuscan Hill Towns. Stone villages built by the Etruscans top the rolling hills of Tuscany. Many still have castles and towers that previously protected their dominant locations. Each has its unique architecture, art, personality, and tale to tell, making it impossible to pick a favorite. San Gimignano seems much as it did during the Middle Ages when it was an essential stop on the pilgrimage road to Rome. The town is replete with towers and is surrounded mainly by preserved walls. Before the Romans came, Volterra was an important Etruscan town, and one can still visit parts of both cultures there. Arezzo's tourist attractions are the heritage of the city's great painters, architects, and poets. Like Volterra, walled Cortona was an Etruscan and later Roman city with Florentine relics. As a result, Cortona is one of the oldest towns in Italy. Because these hill towns are close to Florence, Siena, Pisa, and Lucca, Tuscany is home to many of Italy's most popular tourist spots. Number 5. Lake Como. Como is Italy's most beautiful lake, and ever since the Romans left Milan's hot summers to live in the villas on its high banks, it's been a popular place for rich people to spend their summer vacations. A microclimate makes the western side of Lake Como pleasant even in winter, allowing palm trees and camellias to frame views of the snow-capped Alps to the north. The village of Como, located on the lake's southern side, is well worth a visit before embarking on a boat tour. To the west of Lake Como lies Lake Maggiore, which has its charms. To the east is Lake Garda, a summer recreation area packed with water sports and other activities. Number 6. Amalfi Coast. The Amalfi Coast projects into the Mediterranean south of Naples, creating the Gulf of Naples. The communities that have sprung up on its vertiginous slopes are in one of the most picturesque and unexpected settings imaginable. Most of the streets in these cute little towns are stairways, and the buildings appear to be on cliffs. Below the townlets, there are beautiful beaches with emerald water and coves. Raveo is high above the sea, where lush gardens surround some of the best views on the coast. One of the prettiest stretches of road to ride is along the Amalfi Coast to the south, and you can see it even from the sea on a boat trip from Sorrento to Positano, considered one of the most fascinating trades in the world. Number 7. Capri and Sorrento. The legendary Isle of Capri rises from the Tyrrhenian Sea atop rugged cliffs, only 20 kilometers from Sorrento. It was where the Roman emperors Augustus and Tiberius went to relax, and now ferries and hydrofoils from Sorrento and Naples go there often to take tourists there. Capri and Anacapri are two of the island's two settlements, despite the island's diminutive length of fewer than 6 kilometers. The town is full of high-end shops and cafes where people go hoping to see a celebrity. In Anacapri is the beautiful Villa San Michele and its grounds. A visit to the Blue Grotto, a big flooded cave where the water seems lit from within due to the reflection of sunlight, is one of the most popular activities on Capri. On the opposite side of the island lies the lovely Marina Piccola, a little beach at the base of the cliffs defended by the jagged Faraglione sea stacks. Sorrento, like Capri, is a picturesque place, built explicitly to be loved. The views encompass Naples and its sea, Mount Vesuvius, and Capri, framed by candy-colored houses and lemon trees. It's a place for strolling, cafe sitting, and day excursions to Capri, the Amalfi Coast, Pompeii, and the Herculaneum. Number 8. The Cinque Terre. The 5 towns clung to the high, rocky Mediterranean coast north of La Spezia. Before building a railroad tunnel under the mountains, they were almost impossible to reach by land. The Via dell'Amore runs between Manarola and Riomaggiore and is the shortest and broadest portion of the road. Although hiking the route is the primary objective of most travelers, you should remember the delights of stopping in these little towns. With their small alleys leading down to rocky coves, Riomaggiore and Vernazza have the most extraordinary charm. Despite the Cinque Terre's recent popularity, it remains one of Italy's most alluring attractions. Number 9. Pisa and Lucca. While in Tuscany, it's worth going to these 2 nearby villages. The first is worth seeing because of the beautiful Campo dei Miracoli complex, and the second is worth seeing because of what makes it unique. The Leaning Tower of Pisa is a well-known symbol of Italy. Along with the cathedral, the baptistery, and the Camposanto, it's a UNESCO World Heritage Site. A museum with some of the best gold and silver work from the Middle Ages and Renaissance rounds out the group. One of the most beautiful and fun places in Europe is Lucca. Extensive walls and a park with trees on top surround its top. Inside the city walls, you can see the beautiful Romanesque and Tuscan Gothic churches, tower homes, and a Roman arena that's turned into an oval plaza. Number 10. Pompeii and Herculaneum. Mount Vesuvius erupted forcefully and suddenly in 79 AD, burying the bustling Roman city of Pompeii and encasing it in 6 meters of ash and pumice stone for more than a millennium. The town was trapped in time until excavations began in the 18th century, when it discovered that more than half of its structures and public areas were underground. The same explosion buried Herculaneum, but this time in molten lava rather than ash. Instead of raining down and destroying everything, the lava flowed into the city and filled it from the ground up. As it went, it kept walls and ceilings in place. Organic things like wood, fabrics, and food were kept safe by this airtight seal, which gave a complete picture of how people lived in the 1st century. Number 11. Naples. While Venice has its canals and Florence is from the Renaissance, the sheer exuberance of Naples will captivate you. It's a lively area with narrow streets, full of color, bustle, and energy. Naples has lots to see and experience, with its treasure-filled churches, beautiful palaces showered in European royalty's treasures, and its finest archaeological museum showing findings from neighboring Pompeii. Walk along the seafront with the locals to see Mount Vesuvius across the bay, take a ferry to the island of Capri or magical Sorrento, shop in the glass-domed Galleria Umberto I, and of course, try a pizza. Number 12. Sicily. Sicily includes 7 UNESCO World Heritage Sites, 3 of which are ancient sites, 2 natural wonders, and 2 architectural masterpieces. In addition, Sicily has some of the best preserved examples of old structures. One of the largest Greek temples in the world is Seliononte. One of the world's 3 most perfect Greek temples is Agrigento, near the Valley of the Temples. The 3,500 square meters of mosaics in the Villa Romana del Casale in Enna decorate one of the best preserved villas in the Roman Empire. Sicily's scenery, topped by Mount Etna and its stunning golden sandy beaches, are on par with the island's world-class attractions. Palermo's capital is a bustling city full of color and gorgeous architecture. The adjacent Cathedral of Monreale is a marvel of Norman architecture that still exists almost exactly as it did in the 1100s. and is one of Sicily's most popular tourist sites. Number 13. Sardinia. This mysterious island in the Mediterranean seems to be a world away from Italy, and a very different place. However, Sardinia has much more to offer the adventure traveler, or even the beach lover, than its spectacular Costa Smeralda. In the south, there are miles and miles of beaches with white sand, and a rugged interior is a great place for hikers and climbers. Tourists go to Sardinia to see small mountain towns where traditional customs are not only still practiced, but also a way of life. The strangest and most exciting things to see are the mysterious round stone towers called nuraghi, which are all over the island and make Sardinia one of the most exciting places in Italy to visit. There are also prehistoric sites, including these towers, sacred wells, giant graves, and other old buildings. Entire Phoenician and Roman towns await exploration. Number 14. Puglia. Puglia would be one of the country's most well-known tourist attractions if it were less distant. If you imagine Italy as a boot, Puglia is the heel, a long stiletto heel that reaches southeast into the Adriatic Sea. The city of Lecce is full of beautiful Baroque buildings, like churches with intricately carved facades made of the local golden limestone. The Salento at the very tip of the heel is an utterly untouched coast of jagged cliffs, high headlands, and beaches in the deep bays between them. Some of Italy's most magnificent beaches run for kilometers along the Salento's western shore. The Parco Naturale Regionale Costa Otranto protects the eastern shore. With its cute town, Otranto is the way to get to the beautiful beaches of the Baia dei Turchi, which have a blue flag. Alberobello, with its lovely village of trulli and little conical roof dwellings, is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. You may stay in one of these little houses while seeing the area. Number 15. Genoa. With its ancient maritime history, Genoa is home to some of Italy's most stunning aristocratic palaces. However, the most popular places for tourists in Genoa are these marble works of art and buildings. They're also a World Heritage Site recognized by UNESCO. Take advantage of the steep alleyways of the ancient sailors' quarter above the Old Bay and the Aquarium and Maritime Museum, which overlook the harbor. It's one of the most amazing aquariums in Europe. It has over 10,000 aquatic species in a modern building that looks like their natural habitat. The Maritime Museum is especially popular with families, bringing the era of sailing to life for youngsters. Use the city's many funiculars to get around the steep terrain, and don't pass up the chance to try some of Italy's best food. So that's all for today's video. If you made it this far, click the subscribe button and hit the bell icon for more awesome content. Thanks for watching.